A very good afternoon to everyone. This session is going to be about the corporate accounting. Before we move further, let me introduce myself. My name is Navit Bhatnagar, and in this session, we are going to talk about the basic elements and the theory of the word corporate accounting. Now, we will also discuss about that why is the corporate accounting important and how is the corporate accounting different from our partnership and from our sole proprietor. Before we move ahead, let us just jump into the basics and talk about what is the partnership. Or let's just talk about first what is the meaning of a sole proprietor. A sole proprietor is someone who invests his own capital into a business and it makes it nurture. He have its own capital, so entire profit belongs to him, entire loss is to be borne by him, and all the expenses are to be borne by him. But however, in the every aspect of accounting, we follow the concept of separate legal entity. Separate legal entity. That is, we consider the person different than the business. Or in common words, we should say that the business is a separate entity, it has his own identity, and the person has its own identity. Liability in the case of the business is just limited to what a person is investing, that is the capital that has to be brought by the sole proprietor or the person himself. This was all about the sole proprietorship. Final accounts of these companies are trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. After that, we prepare the cash flow statements. Before the trading account, there are journal entries, ledger posting, and after that, the preparation of the trial balance. This is all the basic stuff of the accounting which we all have studied in the 11th standard and the 12th standard. That how the accounting works and what are the different types of businesses that are being carried on. So this was just the infrastructure of the one business, that is the sole proprietor. Now let's move ahead and talk about the term partnership. Partnership and sole proprietor has one difference, that sole proprietor is conducted by one person, that is the sole proprietor. But however, in the case of the partnership, there are two or more persons. Coming together to share profit and losses in the equal manner, or whatsoever the ratio has been decided. But if it is not given, then we consider it or we deem it as equal. Now, this is a bit complicated than the sole proprietor business. Why so? Because here is the existence of a partnership deed. Now, partnership deed has various elements. It can be oral, it can be written, but it is a necessary document which is required for conducting a partnership business. If there is no partnership deed, then it is considered that all the profit and losses will be shared by all the partners in the equal manner. But however, if there is a partnership deed which says in which the specified PSR or the profit sharing ratio is given, then the profit is to be shared by them accordingly. Also, there are different provisions for the interest of capital, interest on drawings. If it is provided, then we will do it as per the partnership deed. But if it is not provided, then there are certain rules and regulations. For example, interest on drawings, interest on loans is to be taken at 6% and so on. That is a technical fault. Sorry, that is a technical proficiency in the partnership business. Now, here also the capital is to be bought by whom? The partners itself. But in the case of the company, this is the third structure, that is what a company, or I should say a corporate. Now here the things changes. In this, the policy makers or the person who wants to run a company just issues a prospectus first. Now what is a prospectus? Now prospectus is something that if you are going, suppose for example you are going to take admission in a college. In that admission, whenever you proceed to the admission cell, the person in the admission cell gives you a brochure and an application form. In this brochure and that application form, there is some things specified. For example, the placements, for example, the fees structure, for example, their vision and their mission statements. All these things are mentioned in that specific brochure. Accordingly, you are attracted towards it and then you take admission in that college. Same is the prospectus. Whenever a company wants to issue share capital, अब इस वर्ड के ऊपर we will talk about in a bit more detail, but अभी just हम इस वर्ड को समझते हैं, that is share capital. So whenever the company wants to issue the share capital, they release a prospectus in which all the things which they are going to do with the money which they will raise from the share capital is mentioned, and allocation of funds, where they will be investing, what will be the estimated profits, all these things they mention in that prospectus. What are the rate of returns, your dividend rates and everything they are going to mention in that prospectus. So basically a prospectus is nothing but an invitation to an offer where you are going to decide whether to invest in this company or not. It depends upon you. Now, after that, they have given you the prospectus and you have made your mind. Now the term will come share capital. Basically, the model of a company is different from the sole proprietorship and the partnership, because in the sole proprietorship and partnership, all the stakeholders, or I should say stakeholders in the terms of wealth, not the other things, but just in the terms of wealth, are only the owners. And owners have a limit. Why they have a limit? Because Not everybody is the god of money, and they do not have so much money that they can liquidate in the business. Also, owners have some of the drawbacks in the case of the money. They don't have so much money, so if they run to the bank can also provide them up to a limited access of money, either in the case of the partnership or in the case of the sole proprietor. They will have limited money which they are going to invest. But in the case of the share capital, it is a source of crowd. A lot of investors are there. A lot. They just pool their money into a company, into a place known as the company, and that company named that pool money as authorized, or I should say, sorry, not the authorized, my bad, share capital. Once the share capital has been raised, they invest this entire money into the projects. They generate revenue from those projects, and after generating the revenues from those projects, either they return back the entire money or just they give the returns. Returns to whom? The persons or the people who have invested their money into the company. For example, let us just take a live example of how the share capital is going to work or how it works. For example, my name is Rahul. I am a 30-year-old person. One of my friends, let us just suppose say Stuti, wants rupees 10 lakhs to run a car at taxi. I do not have rupees 10 lakhs. She comes to me and she asks, Rahul, can you just lend me rupees 10 lakhs? I'll say no. I do not have rupees 10 lakhs. But if you want rupees 10 lakhs, I can arrange a few persons, for example, X, Y, Z, Alpha, Beta, Gamma, who can invest in this project of yours if you want them. She will say, yes, surely. I will explain the model to them. I will also make them believe that my car will run at a very good price and this business is going to be really successful. So Stuti, they will not understand you by your name. First of all, you have to create a company. For example, आप एक tool कर लो and एक नाम लो यहाँ पे company. For example, Stuti company. And then you tell them that this Stuti company is going to run a car for taxi and the cost of the car is going to be rupees 10 lakh, but she don't have this much money to invest in buying a car. So they will say, it's okay. You have a very good business model. You are very visionary. We will invest rupees 10 lakhs collectively, and with that money you can buy a car and then you can run it as an inventory for your business. Sorted. This pooling of money which these 6 people will do for Stuti will consider as the share capital, because this is the amount of the capital they are sharing for some other person. And after that, for the entire year, the car runs and it generates a revenue of rupees 25 lakhs. Rupees 5 lakhs are the expenses. So Stuti have a net profit of rupees 20 lakhs. Now, what she will do, what she should do, practically, she should share all the profit to the shareholders or the people who have invested in her particular company. And this is how the model of a company works. आप कंपनी को आपका पैसा देते हो, कंपनी उस पैसे को आपके बिहाफ पे कहीं प्रोजेक्ट्स में लगाती है, उससे रेवेन्यू जनरेट करती है, प्रॉफिट अर्न करती है, एंड उस प्रॉफिट का कुछ पार्ट आपको इन द फॉर्म ऑफ डिविडेंड्स या फिर रिटेन्ड अर्निंग्स दे देती है. Now, I hope this much is clear to everyone. Then शेयर कैपिटल की बात करते हैं. हमने ये बोला कि these 6 people will invest in the Suti's business. But why will they invest? That's the main thing. Because उनको बदले में कुछ प्रॉफिट या in the form of dividends प्रॉमिस हो रहा है. If Stuti have gone to the bank for rupees 10 lakh, then first of all she have to submit her papers, she would be legally bounded, there would be so much things. She would say let's just drop the plan, not invest in the car and do something else. But in the share capital she have the liberty to ask as much as money she wants, but she'll have to tell where she's going to invest. Now, let's talk about the term share capital. There are 3 people, A, B, and C. A is a very timid kind of person when it comes to finances. B is a bit moderate, and C is extremely liberal when it comes to finances. और in Hindi I should say A थोड़ा सा डरपोक है, B बोलता है I will take the calculative risks, and C is just hardcore. He is just like I don't care, or he is the risk taker. Now, आप चाहे A हो, चाहे B हो, या चाहे C हो, what you are doing, you are investing your hard earned money in a particular space. आप अपना पैसा किसी स्पेस में लगा रहे हो, and you are unaware that whether this space is going to generate the revenue for you or not, right? So, or would you be needing that money or not? So A will say to Stuti, I'm really sorry, but I cannot invest this much of amount in your company, because then what will I get? What will I get? And also I don't need a lot of profit. I literally don't need a lot of profit. I just want a minimum value so that I can cope up with the inflation, and also I want my capital to be secure. So they will say, okay A, I understand your concern. You think that I will take your money and then I'll not come back, and you want your money to be safe. In that case, I would advise you go with debentures. Now, debentures क्या होते हैं? Debentures are a loan for a company. Now, why a loan for a company? Because they have to be paid off by the company after a specified time. एक स्पेसिफाइड टाइम के बाद किसी भी कंपनी को अपने डिवेंचर होल्डर्स को पे करना होता है, या फिर इन द टर्म्स ऑफ द टेक्निकल लैंग्वेज आई शुड से दे हैव टू रिडीम देयर डिवेंचर्स. दे हैव टू व्हाट? रिडीम. रिडीम मतलब वापस ले लेना. अब इस पूरे प्रोसेस को समझते हैं कि व्हाट विल हैपन. The case of debentures. Let us just talk about the case of debentures. Stuti company and A. A ने बोला, dear Stuti, I will give you rupees 10 lakhs. But I don't want to see your big dreams. I don't want to see this company to grow into a unicorn. However, I will pray every day that your company becomes the unicorn, but that is not my cup of tea. I cannot wait for so much time to get my money back. So Stuti will say, okay, A, do one thing. You just hand me over rupees 10 lakhs. And in return, I will issue you a debenture certificate. That debenture certificate will have written that A on a particular day and date has given Stuti rupees 10 lakhs, which will be redeemable. रिडीमेबल मतलब जब स्तुति को उस पैसे का काम खत्म हो जाएगा तो स्तुति को 10 लाख रुपया ए को वापस कर देगी और उससे वो दिया हुआ डिवेंचर सर्टिफिकेट वापस ले लेगी. इसको बोलते हैं रिडेम्पशन, या फिर किसी पर्टिकुलर फाइनेंशियल एसेट को वापस लेना. She will redeem that money and A will be free from every encumbrance. He will take his share. Along with that, he will take the additional incentives known as the interest. कोई भी आदमी XYZ इंक्लूडिंग मी, मैं 10 लाख रुपए किसी भी कंपनी में 10 साल के लिए फ्री में नहीं छोड़ूंगा. आई वुड वांट कि मेरा पैसा रोटेट हो एंड वो मुझे कुछ अर्न करके दे. तो अर्न करने के नाम पे वो 10 लाख रुपए मेरे को एक ईयरली एक फिक्स्ड रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट अर्न करके दे. That is the cost which Stuti will bear. Now, अब डिवेंचर के केस में क्या हुआ, अगर इसको थोड़ा सा सम अप करें तो ए ने स्तुति को रुपीस 10 लाख दिए, स्तुति ने ए को डिवेंचर सर्टिफिकेट दिया. राइट. और ए को ये प्रॉमिस किया कि आपके रुपीस 10 लाख आफ्टर 10 years, जस्ट से जस्ट से आफ्टर 10 years मैं आपको वापस कर दूंगी। मगर ये बोलेगा कि 1 साल 10 साल तक मैं क्या करूंगा, 10 साल रुपए को देखूंगा थोड़ी, है ना। तो स्तुति विल से यस, आप नहीं देखोगे तो मैं आपको एक ईयरली 10% ऑफ योर एंटायर इन्वेस्टेड अमाउंट आपको सालाना देती रहूंगी। मतलब मैं आपको ₹1 लाख पर ईयर अगले 10 साल तक देती रहूंगी, और जब रिडेम्पशन का टाइम आएगा 10 साल के बाद, तो आपको 10 lakhs जो आपके हैं वो भी वापस कर दूंगी। दिस इज द मोस्ट सेफेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ एन इन्वेस्टमेंट। दिस इज द मोस्ट सेफेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ एन इन्वेस्टमेंट। वाई सो? बिकॉज ए गारंटीड अमाउंट, एक गारंटीड चीज ए को मिल रही है, और उसका इन्वेस्टमेंट तो सिक्योर्ड है ही है। डिवेंचर्स चाहे प्रॉफिट हो चाहे लॉस हो, दे हैव टू बी पेड ऑफ। उनको पे करना ही पड़ता है। वाई सो? बिकॉज डिवेंचर्स आर दी लायबिलिटीज ऑफ अ कंपनी। डिवेंचर होते हैं लायबिलिटी एक कंपनी के, इसीलिए सबसे पहले हमें डिवेंचर को पे ऑफ करना होता है। तो इस केस में ना तो ए का पैसा मरेगा और उसको सालाना रिटर्न्स भी आते रहेंगे। दिस इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ द डिवेंचर्स। if anybody is not aware, just rewind the video if you want to, or either you can contact them. Then सेकेंड एलिमेंट, अब बात करते हैं बी की। रिमेंबर 3 लोग थे, ए बी एंड सी। ए वॉज टिमिड, बी वॉज a bit moderate, and C was highly volatile. तो टिमिड वाला तो खुश हो गया, जो बेचारा शाय था वो तो खुश हो गया। उसने बोला ठीक है, 10 लाख मैंने दे दिए, 1 लाख मुझे आता रहेगा, मुझे मेरे पैसे की कोई टेंशन है नहीं, सो इट विल बी ऑल राइट। देन बी की तरफ आते हैं। बी कहता है कि यार मैं ए जैसा नहीं हूं, बट मैं सी जैसा भी नहीं हूं, तो ना तो मैं अपने पैसे को इतने कम में सेटल डाउन होने वाला, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू सेटल डाउन लाइक ए, बट आई एम नॉट अ रिस्क टेकर लाइक सी। मैं सी भी नहीं। तो अब क्या करें? तो स्तुति विल कम टू हिम, क्योंकि स्तुति को तो पैसा चाहिए ना, तो वो तो स्कीमें बढ़ाएगी। तो स्तुति विल कम टू हिम एंड शी विल से, डूड डू वन थिंग। आप, एक टर्म होता है प्रेफरेंस, आप प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स ले लो। ओके, now we will think what the hell is this preference shares. So they will tell that Mr. B just listen to me what I am about to say. Let's see. She will say that sir, do one thing. आपको ना तो ए जैसा बनना हो, ना आपको सी जैसा बनना है। सो आई वुड सजेस्ट यू डू वन थिंग। हम आपको ए और बी, ए और सी के बीच का एक हाइब्रिड प्रोडक्ट देते हैं, जो कि है प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स। व्हाट आर प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स? प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स आर नॉट दी ओनर्स, ओनर्स नहीं होते, मगर दे हैव स्पेसिफाइड राइट्स। व्हाट काइंड ऑफ राइट्स? वोटिंग राइट्स। ऐसे लोग जिनको ना तो हार्डकोर कंपनी में घुसना है, ना तो they want the burden of hardcore ownership, neither they wants to settle for less. Like debentures. These are somewhere in the between who have a keen interest in the company, but up to a certain limit. इन लोगों की अपनी लिमिट होती है. सो स्तुति जाती है बी के पास, स्तुति कंपनी जाती है बी के पास, वो ये बोलती है कि डूड यू जस्ट मी गिव मी ₹10 lakhs, बदले में आई विल इश्यू अ प्रेफरेंस शेयर सर्टिफिकेट. बदले में आई विल इश्यू अ प्रेफरेंस शेयर सर्टिफिकेट, एंड जब भी अगर आपका मन करे आप अपना पैसा आके ले जाना, बदले में मैं आपको एक स्पेसिफाइड रेट दे, रेट दैट इज फिक्स्ड, उसके ऊपर आई विल गिव यू dividends. And other than that, after equity shareholders have been paid off, अगर कुछ बचेगा then you will also have access to that profit. ये बोलता है ठीक है, सही तो हो गया, थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा भी मिल रहा है एंड बाकी तो मिल ही रहा है. बट देन स्तुति बोलेगी नहीं 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 सर अभी इसमें एक कैच है. कैच क्या है कि जब हमको प्रॉफिट होगा आपको डिविडेंड तब ही मिलेगा, अदरवाइज नो डिविडेंड फॉर यू. बी बीइंग अ बिट ऑफ मॉडरेट इन द नेचर सेज रिस्क है तो रिस्क है. And he invests ₹10 lakhs to Stuti and company with these terms and conditions. कि पहली कंडीशन क्या है कि उसको प्रॉफिट होने के बाद he will get a fixed amount of the dividend prescribed by the Stuti company. Also, he will have a bit of the voting rights, not the ownership right, but a bit of the voting rights. They can participate in the AGMs if they want to. Also, they will also have access to the profits if some of the part of the profit is left after sharing it to the equity shareholders and the owners and the board of the directors of the company decides to give an amount given to the preference shareholders. Now, अब आते हैं सबसे बड़े वाले. सबसे बड़े वाले कौन से हैं? Equity shareholder. You must have read this phase in the stock markets as well and in the economics as well. That is higher risk, higher demands. आप जितना ज्यादा रिस्क लोगे आपको उतना ज्यादा, सॉरी डिमांड्स गलत बोल गया मैं, इट इज हायर रिस्क एंड हायर रिवॉर्ड्स. आपको रिवॉर्ड्स ज्यादा मिलेंगे अगर आप रिस्क ज्यादा लोगे. एंड इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स वो तो है ही फुकरे. These people are like, we are the one who are the owners of the company. We know how to run the business. We know how to take the risks. And we are the decision makers in a particular organization. Impressive, right? Why so? Because they take risk of the entire share capital. कुछ हद तक, up to a certain extent, the money of the debentures and the money of the preference shares are safe. Why so? Because whenever a company will liquidate or amalgamate, for example, if the company is not working well, then they will get paid. They will get paid. इन बेचारों को कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. They will get nothing. Their money is doomed. So they are taking very high risk, but this also gives them high rewards. For example, after giving all the profits, after sharing all the profits to the debentures and then to the preference shares, entire amount that is left belongs to the one category, that is equity shareholders. Right? Because वो बहुत ज्यादा रिस्क ले रहे हैं, तो इसीलिए उन लोगों के लिए रिवॉर्ड भी उतना ही बड़ा है. And this is the main category, and that is why, because they are taking more risks, these are considered as the owners of the company. They are the decision making entities. How much money is to be invested, what time it has to be invested, and how it is to be invested, this everything they are going to tell and channelize the money according to themselves. These are the types of the share capitals which are used for raising the finances in the corporates or the companies. So I hope you have understood the concept of the share capital, you have understood the concept of the company, and you have understood the difference between a sole proprietor, a partnership, and a company in this session. Now, let us just go through what is corporate accounting and a bit of its advantages, nothing else. Then we will wrap up the session. So basically, we are talking about corporate accounting. Corporate accounting. A corporate accounting refers to the process of recording the company's financial transaction. A company के financial transactions. We are not talking about the sole proprietor. We are not even talking about the partnership. We are here talking about whom? We are here talking about the company. कंपनी का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हम अभी पीछे समझ के आए हैं. इट इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंटिंग ऑल द एक्सपेंसेस, incomes, sales, and purchase over a specific time period. You all are aware about this thing that all the FS is the short form for financial statements. That all the FSs are prepared for a specific time period. Right? The end result of this process are the financial statements like the cash flow, the income statement, and the balance sheet. Income statement and cash flow in words में आप ऐसा समझें कि income statement is nothing but a combination of your trading and PL account. Okay, and balance sheet is the statement of affairs which is prepared by the end of the accounting year. On a particular day. One thing to be noted, the balance sheet is on the particular day because it changes accordingly. Now next up, we'll talk about the first advantage, that is the regulatory compliance. Adherence to the accounting standards and regulations is crucial for corporation. Corporate accounting helps ensure compliance with the laws and regulations such as GAAP or IFRS, which can prevent the legal issues and penalties. Accounting in the corporate accounting helps us in the compliance of the laws and regulations such as GAAP. Sir, ये क्या होता है? GAAP stands for Generally Accepted accounting principles. And IFRS stands for International Financial Reporting Standards. Basically, IFRS was launched by the IASB, International Accounting Standards Board. Why? What is the need? Because a corporate or a company is a global entity and there are different set of rules and regulations in each country. So to cope up with that, IFRS is basically the general language which understands the financial statements and their regulations. That is why the IFRS has been launched, so that the regulatory compliances can be met. And it is all used in the corporates. So if you are doing a corporate accounting, then IFRS and the GAAP will make it easier for you so to communicate your results internationally and globally. Secondly, advantages में आते हैं financial transparency. Corporate accounting ensures the accurate and the detailed financial records, promoting the transparency. This keeps stakeholders, including investors, traders, and regulatory bodies, to trust the company's financial health and operations. For example, if we are sharing the data of our company, data in the sense your results. If you are sharing your results of the company with the stakeholders, then they will empower trust. And it will make sure, and they will be really happy to see that their company in which they have invested is in the great financial health for all the operations. Next up is informed decision makings. Like I said, if I am telling it in the annual general meeting that by this year our profit has been itna, and we can invest in the potential projects this much money. For that sake, it is good for the strategic decision making. We can make the financial planning, better allocation of resources we can do the budgeting and forecasting if we are doing the corporate accounting. If we are keeping an access of all our expenses and incomes, it will help us to generate a great financial planning and enabling the better resource allocation. Next, performance management. The corporate accounting helps in assessing the company's performance over time. By analyzing the financial metrics and ratios, management can evaluate profitability, efficiency and growth potential. अब यहाँ पर हमारी बात आ जाएगी बैलेंस शीट रेशियोज की, सॉल्वेंसी रेशियोज की, right? So we can calculate if we are keeping tabs of our company and if we are making the corporate accounting balance sheets and income statements. For example, if we are keeping the balance sheets and the income statements of your company, you can calculate this ratio and it can help you in efficiency and hamper your growth over time. Next up, investors confidence. This is really important. आपने रेगुलेटरी कंप्लायंस भी कर लिया, आपने फाइनेंशियल ट्रांसपेरेंसी भी दिखा ली, आपने बजटिंग भी कर ली, आपने फ्यूचर के लिए फोरकास्टिंग भी कर ली, मगर व्हाट फॉर? अगर आपका इन्वेस्टर ही हैप्पी नहीं है तो अगर आप ये सारी चीजें उसके साथ शेयर करोगे तो इन्वेस्टर विल डेफिनेटली गेन द कॉन्फिडेंस इन द अपकमिंग फ्यूचर एंड ही विल potentially invest in your investment opportunities for the long run, not for the short run. Accurate and reliable financial reporting attracts investors by demonstrating the company's financial stability and potential for growth. This can lead to the easier access to the capital and better investment opportunities. Next up, cost management. Like I said, as a company secretary or as the key person in the company who is keeping the tabs on your expenses, cost management has to be really adverse. Adverse in the sense you have to be very rigorous about cost saving. Corporate accounting identifies the cost saving opportunities by analyzing the expenditures and the operational inefficiencies ऑपरेशनल इनएफिशिएंसीज लाइक आइडल टाइम, अगर इन्वेस्टर का पैसा लगा है तो आपकी फैक्ट्री में आपका वर्कर खाली नहीं बैठा होना चाहिए एट दैट पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, बिकॉज वो आपका इतना सा इनएफिशिएंट टाइम इन्वेस्टर को बहुत नुकसान करवा देगा. सो इफ यू आर कीपिंग द टैब्स देन आप इम्प्रूव प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी एंड कॉस्ट कंट्रोल दोगे. नेक्स्ट इज द रिस्क मैनेजमेंट. कीपिंग अ टैब ऑफ योर कॉर्पोरेट अकाउंट्स हेल्प्स यू असेस योर रिस्क्स. का फाइनेंशियल रिस्क है, आपके ऑपरेटिंग रिस्क है, इन सबको आप मिटिगेट कर सकते हो, पहले से ही देख सकते हो अगर आपके पास आपकी इनकम स्टेटमेंट्स इन द राइट फॉर्म अवेलेबल हैं तो. नेक्स्ट, फैसिलिटेटिंग मर्जर्स एंड एक्विजिशंस. मर्जर्स एंड एक्विजिशंस की बात हम कॉर्पोरेट अकाउंटिंग में करेंगे, डेफिनेटली करेंगे, बट अभी आगे जाकर के करेंगे बिकॉज दैट इज अ वेरी एडवांस टॉपिक. अभी के लिए आप ऐसा समझिए कि मर्जर मतलब दो कंपनियों का मिलना एंड एक्विजिशन का मतलब एक कंपनी ने दूसरी कंपनी को खरीद लेना या फिर खा जाना. दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द मर्जर एंड एन एक्विजिशन. बेसिकली एक दो कंपनियों की जब शादी हो जाती है उसको मर्जर बोलते हैं, एंड एक्विजिशन मतलब एक कंपनी जब दूसरी कंपनी की गुलाम बन जाती है तो उसको हम एक्विजिशन बोलते हैं या फिर एक्वायर कर लेना बोलते हैं. अगर हम कॉर्पोरेट रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग की बात करें या कॉर्पोरेट अकाउंटिंग की डिटेल्स की बात करें, अगर एक कंपनी के पास दूसरी कंपनी की अकाउंटिंग डिटेल्स होंगी तो उसके लिए डिसीजन लेना विल बी रियली इजी, वेदर टू मर्ज, वेदर टू एक्वायर एंड वेदर टू अमेलगमेट. नेक्स्ट अप, tax planning and management. Corporate accounting plays a crucial role in the tax planning and management, ensuring that the corporation takes advantage of the tax benefits, complies with the tax regulations and minimizes the tax liabilities. कॉर्पोरेट अकाउंटिंग हम क्यों कर रहे हैं? ताकि हम टैक्स प्लानिंग और टैक्स मैनेजमेंट भी कर सके. वाई सो? बिकॉज अगर आपने प्रॉफिट अर्न किया है तो भैया टैक्स तो देना पड़ेगा. अब आप उस टैक्स को कैसे मैनेज करते हो ये आपके ऊपर है. एक छोटा सा आपको एक एग्जांपल देके बताता हूँ कि इंटरेस्ट हमेशा टैक्स से पहले पे होता है, तो अगर आपके जितने ज्यादा डिबेंचर होंगे आपको उतना ज्यादा टैक्स देगा. When we will read about the income statement, then you will come to know. Then the stakeholder का communication. It ensures clear and effective communication with the various stakeholders through the accurate financial reporting, thereby fostering trust and positive relationship. क्योंकि हम IFRS यूज कर रहे हैं, हम XBRL डॉक्यूमेंट्स यूज कर रहे हैं, हम गैप्स को यूज कर रहे हैं, स्टेक होल्डर को कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं हर लैंग्वेज में जिस लैंग्वेज में वो सुनना चाहता है, और अगर हम पॉजिटिवली उसको कम्युनिकेट करेंगे तो इट विल जनरेट दी पॉजिटिव रिलेशनशिप्स. नेक्स्ट अप, ऑपरेशनल एफिशिएंसी. ऑपरेशनल एफिशिएंसी, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ वी आर नॉट कीपिंग टैब्स ऑफ द अकाउंट्स ऑफ आवर कंपनी, फॉर एग्जांपल हम कॉर्पोरेट अकाउंटिंग कर ही नहीं रहे, हमें कंपनी में क्या चल रहा है हमें पता ही नहीं है, वी आर नॉट अवेयर अबाउट दैट. In that case, I will not be able to analyze what is the efficiency of the money I have invested, what is the efficiency of my staff, and so on. That is why corporate accounting contributes to the overall operational efficiency of the corporation. This was all about the corporate accounting. एक थोड़ा सा क्विक रिवीजन मारते हैं. सबसे पहले we talked about what is the difference between the sole proprietor, a company and a partnership. Then we talked about what are the different types of the capitals that can be generated, how to generate a capital, why is company so beneficial, why the model of the company is so beneficial, what are the certain advantages of the company. This was all which we discussed in this chapter, in this lesson, and in the future lectures we will continue to go on this topic, and we will rigorously help you to attain a good knowledge of your corporate accounts. That's all from my side. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you so much.